Manhattan Beach Badminton Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of the 2016 Manhattan Beach International Open. Ashaway, HL Badminton, Maccabi USA, McDonald's, Rockin' Brews, Rockin' Fish, Baruco,
Many people think that badminton is in the park with your sister and a couple of friends, and you just kind of hit the bird around. It's nothing like that. Badminton is the world's fastest racket sport. A badminton bird comes off at 200 miles an hour, and if you think that that's fast, or wait until you play it, you really get an opportunity to see this at a very top level, especially the fact that we're having this Olympic trials here in town in February. It's the greatest aerobic sport in that you have to move in all directions. You're swinging the racket in every different way. The rallies are very long, much different than tennis, where you might hit it 3 or 4 times and think that's a great rally. It's a sport that is very mental as well, because you have to be mentally tough to be able to play at this high level. So when it comes to conditioning, you've got to be at your best conditioning, because you know you're going to be out in that court for a very long time. And there are 3 fundamental strokes. It's the clear, the drop, and the smash that are what makes a player.
Welcome to Manhattan Beach, California. This is the Manhattan Beach Badminton Club, and you are here today viewing the finals of the mixed doubles in the Manhattan Beach Badminton Club International Series Road to Rio Olympic qualifying event. This is a match that features a truly international contingency. We have a mixed doubles team from Indonesia. The players in mixed doubles, this is the only event in the entire Olympic panoply of sports that includes head-to-head competition in a regular non-judged sporting event. Badminton mixed doubles has men and women on the same team playing against men and women on the other team, and there's no judges. It's straight-out athletic competition, which makes for the most interesting, in my opinion, the most interesting of matches of all of the 5 events in badminton. Our 2 teams that are here today are represented from the United States. Tony Gunawan, and Tony has played, he's an Olympic gold medalist in the past when he played for Indonesia. He's represented Indonesia and the United States as world champion. He moved to the United States about 15 years ago, and he won the world championships in 2005. And he's playing with his partner, who's also his student, a freshman in Diamond Bar High School, and her name is Maribel Huang. Maribel is 14 years old, and Tony is 41, so they have inverted ages. And she is the youngest player out here playing in the finals and playing in the tournament. So she's reached the finals, and their opponents are David Pohan, that's easy. David Pohan, and his partner is Jenna Gozali. Tracy, what do we look for here in mixed?
Well, in general, the woman is at the net and the man is in the back because they're stronger. But we'll see how this pans out with these 2 teams and how they want to start their strategy out. First and most importantly is getting that serve in. And for the women against the woman, it seems fairly easy. But for the women to serve against the man, it gets a little nerve-biting there.
Yeah, and Dean mentioned the age of Tony's partner, Mirabel. but she is in fact the third 14-year-old to play in the finals. In the women's doubles, we saw another 14-year-old American play against a 14-year-old girl from Mexico.
That's true.
So
That's true.
a 14-year-old did win the first event, so it'd be great for American fans to watch a 14-year-old and a 41-year-old win this event.
That would be incredible. So we have this event has been going on all week here, and with the help of the city of Manhattan Beach, with the help of great sponsors like the Shade Hotel and the sponsors that you see not only on the walls but throughout the ads that take place in between these matches. A lot of community support. We were lucky, and the city of Manhattan Beach got involved. The fire department gave an athlete welcome dinner. We've had just a wonderful week and a great week of badminton. Manhattan Beach Badminton Club has existed here in the city for 80 years. We have an incredible junior tournament that we hope people from all over the world hear this and send your junior teams here in the summer, because we're one of the few places left in the world that billet the kids and help out, and it's just an incredible week of badminton. We're getting ready to start here. You're going to see generally speaking, the woman will be towards the front of the court and the man in the back.
And the Indonesians have won the toss and elected to serve. So we have Jenna serving to Mirabelle.
And she starts out with a flick serve, but it
So as I
backfires
mentioned
on
earlier, when I said about the competition with the men and the women competing against each other, in the Olympics you've got sports like the ice skating events and some of the trying to think of another event that has men and women competing together against each other.
Tennis?
They don't have mixed doubles in tennis.
Oh, they just play the women's singles?
They only play women's singles and women's doubles. Badminton's the only one with mixed. So as opposed to having judges decide who wins and the men and women are together, in this sport it's head-to-head competition.
Now, we watched the Indonesian pair yesterday in the semi-final, and they were very successful allowing their opponents to attack them all the time. Do you think we'll see a similar situation today? Tony is a lot harder smasher than the young gentleman they played against yesterday.
And so there we see two lifts, and Tony's able to put it away on the second clear, so maybe the Indonesians are going to have to try a different tactic today. Wow.
Yeah, I think the Indonesian pair better change their tactics rather quickly, else Tony and Mirabelle are going to smash through them all day long. A little change of touch, soft shots there, and Americans winning the rally.
Out to a 6-3 lead here early on in the first game. Wow.
Good defense from young Mirabelle.
And that serve was just a little high, and the Indonesians were able to take advantage of it.
So just like that, they're back in it. It's 5-7 now with the girl serving to the girl. She serves short, gets it in play.
Oh. That was pushed deep to the girl, and she put it in the net.
We're at 7-all here in the first game from Manhattan Beach, California.
The early lead the Americans had evaporated, and the Indonesians have slightly adjusted their tactics, not clearing quite as often.
Right now, the Indonesians in the last 7 or so points have really dominated. They're ending these points with very, very quick rallies. There's none of the long rallies that we had earlier. Oh,
Nice.
Maribel goes up in front and cuts it off, takes it cross court and puts it on the floor. Looks easy, but you literally have to fly to get to that shuttle quickly, or it gets below the net. She's looking to attack. Maribel's looking for chances to poach him. Oh, just a little late.
So the Indonesians 2 points ahead. Oh, lovely slice drop shot from the young Maribel there.
Both Maribel and Tony play at the San Gabriel Valley Badminton Club #2 in Pomona. Tony's the head coach of the Global Badminton
Beautiful.
Academy, and Maribel is one of his star students. We go to break at 11:08.
And David and Jenna also play at the same club in Java, Indonesia. David's a former member of the Indonesian national team, particularly successful in men's doubles, but he's now one of the head coaches in Java of the biggest badminton club on the island.
At this point, Tracy, what can the Americans do again to get out and get back into the game? They had an early lead, and it got away from them very quickly, and at this point, they don't seem to be in command at all.
I think they need to do a little more dropping at the net to get back on the offense and put Tony in a position to use that big smash of his.
Yeah, the early exchanges, the Indonesians were quite happy to hit it high, deep to the back, but Tony was very aggressive in his attacking, smashing, and he won points. So the Indonesians adjusted the game and didn't lift it quite as much to the back for Tony to attack them.
And there, Jenna was able to get right on top of the drop from Maribel and get the point.
And I can clearly see that the Indonesian team are trying to hit more shots towards the youthful and inexperienced Maribel. And it is paying off. She's made a couple of errors, but I'm sure she'll hang in there and get her confidence back.
Tony had a strong backhand that produced the error from David. We have a great rally going on here. And Jenna was able to put that with a slice drop.
David Pohan with the serve.
And Maribel got a lucky bounce on the net for that one.
They all count though, so she'll take it.
Yeah, the net's only 5 feet high, so there's a lot of opportunity to hit down if you can elevate.
Oh, fantastic
nice
deceptive shot by Jenna Gozali there. Wrong footing Maribel. The lead's increased to 15-13.
Oh.
A rare mistake from Tony. 16-13.
I think a change of shuttle is appropriate now.
That one had about 3 feathers, 2 or 3 feathers on the one side that had literally fallen off or broken off. 16-13. Jenna serving to Tony, gets it in play and rallies on.
And Maribel pushed it right into the center of David's racket, and he couldn't get it back. Good push by Jenna.
Tony being moved around here.
Yeah, they're doing what they did yesterday in the semis. They're just putting him in back.
Standing back in midcourt defending.
He's
Yeah.
almost playing singles. And
There
there
it
he
is.
puts it away.
They got one short, and when they got it short, Tony is able to put it on the floor. Within 2.
Just that serve was just a fraction too high, and David put it back where it was unreachable.
Good return, but just a little bit long off the back, and now they're behind by 4 again, the Americans are, and it's 19-15. No fear of trying to hit really advanced shots. Maribel going for that cross-court winner off the forehand corner, just barely out, but really playing a very mature style of game. But then the game is over, 21-15 in the first, with the Indonesian pair handily winning at the end of the game.
Yes, the Indonesian team didn't really look like they were being pushed too hard. They were controlling most of the rallies. And the Americans need to do something to make sure they attack a little bit more. If I was playing, if I was in David and Jenna's position, I'd attack perhaps the more inexperienced player. But just like yesterday, they just stood back and defended regardless who was smashing.
They seem to get Maribel in the back of the court and then move in because her shots get shorter and shorter. So I think Maribel needs to get back into the net and let Tony take over in the back in this next game.
Definitely the Americans seem to be the strongest, with Tony at the back of the court and Maribel trying to dominate the net.
Yes.
And it was interesting, too, because Tony, in the beginning of the game, was back there and was hitting, and the Indonesians were content, but then they were losing, and they immediately flipped it at about 7 points in. And from that point on, they've had complete control of the match.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Tracy, that the youngster's doing on the American side?
I think she's not showing any nerves, which is really great, and I think she's taking direction from Tony very well. She just needs to get up to the net and play her shots to put Tony on the offense. So if she just drops it at the net and lets them lift to Tony, I think they'll be in a better position.
Yeah, we can't forget that Maribel Huang is only 14.
Yeah, and unlike the women's doubles
There
that
you
we
go.
just saw a moment ago, where all 4 of the girls were under 15 years of age, Maribel is playing against 2
Experienced players.
national team members of Indonesia, and Indonesia is one of the top 3 or 4 countries in the world in this sport. And in Indonesia, badminton is the equivalent of basketball. So these are players that are used to playing in front of 15,000 people. They do this for a living, and Maribel is 14, playing against 2 players. Not only her superior in age, but with no question but superior experience in the sport of badminton.
Yeah, Maribel hasn't been on a senior U.S. team yet. And both Indonesian players have represented their country at the international level over several years.
Yes, exactly. So she's doing incredibly well.
Interestingly enough, David's brother actually lives in Northern California, where he's the head coach at the Bay Area Badminton Center. That's
true. So maybe I was trying to figure out why he would travel from Indonesia, where badminton is literally a full-time job, to play in an Olympic qualifying event in our zone. And it might be that he was able to come here and get himself known in badminton in America. Maybe he would, just like his brother, maybe consider coming to the United States, as Tony did so successfully 15 years ago.
Yeah, he might be here on vacation, but he's going to win some money to pay for that vacation if he wins this event.
Correct, and he's also in the doubles final. So he's the one of the only players here that's in the hunt to have a double championship.
Lucky bounce off the net for David.
There definitely won't be any Triple Crown winners in this event, because there's none of the players, there's not even one player in three finals. The only player in 2 finals is actually David Pohan of Indonesia.
Oh. Mirabel almost got that one back. Tony needs to take charge in these rallies if they have any hope of winning.
But if you notice, though, the Indonesian team have started to attack the youngster a little
Yes.
more than they did in the first game.
She's looking a little flustered now.
And she's vulnerable because she's in back. She's not in the very front, front half of the court on her side. She's more in the center, so they're able to pull her out of position and put her into the back of the court. Wow, a really hard smash. The smashes in badminton, we haven't talked about it, but the badminton smash out of some of these guys will go over 200 miles an hour, and that was one of them right there. Combined with the jump, you get an incredible angle, and makes for a very difficult shot to return.
Very nice interception by Mirabel, though, cutting the shot off and winning the point.
And that's what Tony has to do, set her up at the net, and then she can set him up for his smash.
Just long, 2 inches long. Remember, the only use of the inside back line in badminton is for the double serve.
Oh.
Wow. David Pohan flies through the air and puts the bird away with the backhand with zero tolerance. I mean, he misses by 1 inch and he hits the net with his racket.
Oh, very nice return by Jenna.
So it's the interval now, and the Americans are really up against it.
Yes. So I'm surprised no coaching is being done right now, but Tony being a coach himself, he'll take charge of that. Dean, do the Indonesian team have a coach?
The Indonesians had a coach when they were on the national team, but it's been 2 years since they've left the national team, so they don't travel with a coach. They're funded privately. Like John said, one of them's for sure on vacation, and the company in front of them that I can't read because it's in Indonesian supports them and pays their way to come here and represent their company. And Tony is the head coach at Global Badminton Academy, and is obviously well qualified to coach him and his junior player.
Yeah.
There is no other coach at his club higher rated.
And there's probably very few in the United States that have his wealth of experience playing and coaching. Oh, excellent cross-court smash from David Pohan there, and the lead's increased to 12-5. Tracy, what must the Americans do to stay in this game?
They need to get on the offense and get Mirabel up to the net. She's in the back now, and she's not strong back there, and they're going to take advantage of that. And she was able to set Tony up for a smash, and they've got the serve back, and let's hope they can keep it.
Tony making a slight racket adjustment here. Perhaps the tension of his strings is not as what it was. Indonesians adjust their position.
Oh.
That was unlucky by Tony. He went round the head to drive it back, but he drove it too long. 13-6.
And I think we're seeing Mirabel staying at the net more. And
I wonder if Mirabel got a concussion test after that and have to sit out a couple of days.
I have actually had an eye concussion from being hit by a bird at that close range, and it wasn't fun.
And again, hitting it too long. The American pair are actually straining to win these points. They're putting a little much into it, and they're overhitting.
Jenna hitting into the net, giving Mirabel the serve back. 7-15. The U.S. has a uphill struggle to get back into this. And Tony set himself up for a smash that was successful.
I think Tony needs to continually be on the attack here for the
Yes.
Americans to have any chance of getting back into this. Because the Indonesians are clearly taking advantage of Mirabel's
Inexperience and youth.
And attacking her a bit more.
Yes.
But she's doing remarkably well considering her age and
Yes.
lack
Very
of
composed.
experience.
She has had a good coach.
And a good partner.
Tony thought he had a winner there. Unfortunately, the net got in the way. Mirabel's got to get up to that net.
Great round-the-back shot from Jenna there.
That was one of John's specialties when he was playing. They keep it. Oh, Mirabel
excellent.
forces that bird. Unforced error from Jenna.
Jenna gives a wry smile. She didn't hit the clear deep enough, and Mirabel got on top of it and put it away. So 10-16, they're behind. Still a long way to go till the game's over, though.
Flick serve from Tony. Pushing the woman deep and then bringing her to the net. And but Jenna was able to defend against that and got the serve back. Push right into her stomach area and not able to get it back. Increases the lead to 18-10. And Tony did a fake cross and got the serve back.
That fake cross back from the backhand side by Tony gives him a chance. It's 11-18. Nice to see some deception still being used.
Oh.
And there we have return deception from Jenna. Wrong footing Mirabel, but they managed to stay in the rally.
Nice cross-court drop from Jenna. Push deep to the forehand, a winner for Mirabel. Nice push to the backhand by Mirabel. 13-19.
Tony looking for help from the linesman, but it was called in, which gives Indonesia his match point.
It is now match point, 1 point away from winning this Manhattan Beach International Series Championships.
Oh, beautiful drop at the net by Jenna to win the rally and the match.
So that's it. This match is over. Indonesia taking it in 2 games, 21-15, 21-13. We'll be back in a moment.
Beach Badminton Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of the 2016 Manhattan Beach International Open. Ashaway, HL Badminton, Maccabi USA, McDonald's, Rockin' Brews, Rockin' Fish, Baruco,
Presenting Medals Ding Xiaoping Order of Retail Corporation. David